Hi everyone, I'm Echoes and I'm a VTuber, and I'll be going over episode 6 of Hat Atelier, which essentially goes over two chapters. The first is where we kind of have like a slice of life episode, very chill, and the second one is we are introduced to Olruggio, the Watchful Eye of Keyfree's Atelier. So yeah, let's get started. So, in the first episode, or not first episode, this episode. So we see Agott and Coco studying. So you can see here that they're trying their best to practice their making their casting seals. And you can see that Agott is having some trouble concentrating because it looks like she doesn't work well with exterior noise. And she's trying to do this light spell, as you can see here. You can skip the opening. And you can see that Coco's a bit sad that she wasn't able to get herself a new pen when because of the whole dragon incident earlier. And the thing is that she's very good with, her familiar tools with the pigment stone for straight lines, but it's not really good for the small paper pad that they carry around. So, as Master said that their ideas were important element magic, but regardless, she's trying to work with, instruments that she's not as well used to, and she's feeling a bit tired from it. He's like, and you could tell that she's pretty impatient because she really does want to quickly get better for the upcoming test. But because it Kifi tries to kind of nudge her out a little bit and says, "Okay, let's do some practical practice," which is why he introduces her to the spell in the kitchen that keeps that soup good for who knows how long. The magic cookpot essentially keeps repeating the moment when it was made, but you have to redraw the spell. And he's help and you can see that she's going to help him cook a little bit because based on what she already knows. Like she's gonna essentially help him cook the potatoes here. What are called carapace yams. And based on it, she's adjusting that fireball spell to cook the potatoes properly. Can't be too small, can't be unbalanced. She's trying, but she eventually gets the hang of it and eventually is able to help him cook properly. And then we also learn some interesting details here, where you can see that I believe I mentioned before that Keyfree's one of Keyfree's greatest specialties is his ability to do. He's very good at water magic. Um, Part of it was because he was a bad swimmer, but also he hated being wet. So, and as here he mentions, it's the first time magic he has mastered. So, and he says that if you're desperate to learn something quickly, it's best to integrate into your daily life. There's no better teacher than life itself, which makes sense. And then the girls come in to enjoy their lunch. They make some really yummy like sandwiches, some soup, and more. And then Agott's still trying to focus. And sadly, it was raining, but because the things that Coco wanted to eat outside with everyone as a part of a picnic, right here, as right here. But Kifri helps them with their helps them go out in the rain with their magic. So they use a spell to kind of just have a nice cozy time under the bridge here, which is kind of nice. So yeah, and then once the rain stops and the sun comes out, and then you can see here that she's trying to get a god, so because it stopped raining, so um in order to show her the lovely view, and then here she meets Olruggio here, and here he mistakes her as a messenger of Elira's, and then Kiefer introduces her as his apprentice, and it's like, and he says that she was a victim of forbidden magic, that sort of thing. Olruggio is trying to take her to the Knights Morales, but you can see that Kiefer is stopping him here because she's too important for him to take her away, as she's the only clue to reach be able to connect with the Brim Hats. And you can see Kiefer explains everything. And it goes back to raining again. Looks like it's a big storm. So you can see that you made the move and took Outsider's apprentice, and then you can see explains that there isn't another word. They don't have another word for people who aren't witches. And then they explain the role, and he explains also the Watchful Eye role, which is over here. As small rule ateliers have a tendency to become silos. Um, so another witch, a Watchful Eye, stays there to keep an eye on things. I guess it's because have a tendency to become. I'm not exactly sure what they mean by becoming silos here. I wonder if it's because oh, maybe it's like they gain like their own independence perhaps, or they could become like small towns. So they help cover up problems and stuff. Here in I can see that he's trying to cover up one of the problems here too, because they're trying to get a lead on forbidden magic, but and he's you can see that Rujo wants to leave it into the hands of the Knights Morales because they're essentially the magic police. But you can see that Keyfree has to look. It's like, and then you can see, oh, here's where they explain it. The Order of Moral Spellcasting Akka the Knights Morales. In accordance with the codes enacted on the day of the pact. They act strictly in accordance with the rules. And then you can see Keyfree is that if you turn her over, then I think he says that he'll also lose his memories as well. And then Keyfree mentions her good traits. Yeah, here if you erase your memory, the other erase mine too. So you can see that he's kind of giving him trying to give him reason for Coco to stay. He's like, oh, and then because he's like, when you try to take the other apprentice, I thought you kind of settled down, but he's still trying to do his job as the Watchful Eye, especially if anything goes wrong. So they're getting washed up and stuff, and then you can see that Coco here is introduced to Brush Buddy, or not introduced. It's Brush Buddy runs away for a little bit, and then she uh is essentially forced to go into a reduced workshop, which she didn't really want to go in because he's a busy person, and even his door said to like keep people out and stuff. But then she's realized that he also has a certain specialty of magic. He's if I can remember, he is known for creating magical tools in particular. It's one of his specializations. So you can see that he dried her off using the ring here, the ring magic ring to remove the water. And you see that Orruggio's like, don't touch anything. And then you can see that she realized that there was that her favorite spell was in there, the spell that introduced her magic, the paving stones that glow when you step on them. Is like her first spell, and he explains the mechanism, and then he also explains that he was the one who made it. That's why he calls it the glowstone path is my masterwork. It's like and then you can see that essentially when the weight when someone steps on it, the sigil activates. So anyone could do it. And then she mentions how when she was young, she really loved that light. And she's like, "Thank you for making that amazing spell that inspired me to love magic when I was young." And then you can see they take her, and then you can see Rugia kind of warms up to her a little bit through this interaction. And then you can see Coco's gonna move to the living room to study, and then Agott still having trouble focusing. And you can see that she really wants to learn practical magic in order to take the upcoming test. And it's the only issue is that there's because of the torrential rain, a carriage will be swept away by the river. And let's see. And let's see. Sorry, Kiefer is trying to help in this case because witches are known for helping the common people. And you can see that Agott wants to come with Keyfree because she wants to prove herself that she's useful. So yeah. Overall, like generally a pretty chill episode, nothing too crazy. And can't say anything has happened super monumentally, but it's a generally good transition slash build up episode. One is that where Coco learns more about practical uses of magic in everyday life, and then we meet Olruggio, who is another very important character, as he is Keyfree's friend. Um, and also we learned about his ability to create magic tools, and we also are introduced to a practical situation where Agott wants to prove herself. So yeah, overall, excellent episode, and I'm looking forward to seeing how development happens. Because if I can remember correctly, this trying to save the carriage, I think, sort of leads to a whole bunch of things later on, if I can remember correctly. So yeah. Anyway, that's all from me, and thanks for watching.